And we are live, people. Hey, everybody. It's Yu-Gi-Oh! Master 88. Welcome to my first open chat in such a long time. I apologize for you all waiting this long, but so much has happened. But other than that, we're here. Let's do this. Anyway, if you all want to get into the open chat, you can email me at my proton.com email. I put a link in the description for it, so this way you guys can find it much easier. So, other than that, basically, tonight is going to be a special open chat. Tonight we're going to be discussing the history of KDE4. That's right, KDE4. And the reason why I wanted to discuss KDE4 is because on my last Linux report that on one of my Linux reports that I uploaded last night, Ubuntu 14.04 is getting further support. And with it getting further support, that means Ubuntu 14.04 will be able to still use KDE4. So that got me thinking, why don't I cover the history of KDE4? So basically what we're going to do is do just that. Cover its history and just talk about it. Okay, what we're going to do now is I'm going to see about getting some buddies in here, so hold on just a second while I send out some links. Okay, so okay, just give that a minute. I'll switch this over real quick. Okay. Hey, buddy! Long time no see. Haven't seen you in a long time. How you doing, bud? Interview for next week. We'll have to see. I have to look at my schedule and see what I can clear up. But other than that, if my schedule is clear, I'll be free to interview you very easily. but we'll see what happens. Okay, bud? Okay. Let me just get some things set up here. Sorry, people, that it's taking me so long, but I gotta prepare some things. I gotta make sure that I can get my Proton up. This way I can see everybody that wants to get the link. Okay, so okay. What? Hmm. Hold on a minute, folks. Okay, that's what I figured. Okay, let me shut this off. And then what we'll do, go to this, go to that. What we'll do, do that, and do that. I want to transport this over to here. Go back to here. Open existing database. Okay. And I did that. Go down to Proton. There it is. This should be the right one. Yep. Perfect. Oh, good. All right, I got that sorted. Okay, KeyPass XE, you can just be dismissed for now. All right, I can see my Proton. Perfect. Okay. Menu logo need. Yeah, it needs some scaling down, dude, but you'll get around to it. Sounds like a winner. Perfect. Like I said, I'll see what I can do, dude. And my schedule is cleared. I will email you and let you know. Okay. Yeah, just whenever you're free is fine by me. And and that is okay, man. That is okay. Everybody's gone through a lot, but everything will be fine. Trust me, I assure you. Okay, let's see here. Let's see if I can get somebody in here. Okay. Okay. God is with me, and I'm going. Exactly, dude. Exactly. I fully agree with you 100%. Fully agree with you. Oh.
Hey, where's Ben?
Oh, he'll be coming in just a minute. I sent him the link. He might be a few minutes late.
Yeah, I don't know much about KDE4 except that I used to use it for a little while. But
Well, just to to help us out, I'm going to pull up the KDE4 wiki.
Okay.
It's just taking me a little bit to set things up. I'm a little late.
That's fine.
Yep, there it is. Okay, I found it. There's its wiki page, KDE4. Okay. Okay, now I could just close some of this stuff out because I'm not going to really need it that much. There he is.
Hey, Ricky. Seeker.
Hey, Benny.
Oh, Lord. So we're talking about KDE4, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. I've been pretty much delaying this for quite a while, but since I did the Linux report last night about Ubuntu 14.04 getting extended support until 2024, since what that means also is that means KDE4 will be maintained just a little longer on the Ubuntu end.
Right. And I was checking the KDE Sunset page for Gen 2. It hasn't received an update in 5 months.
I was expecting this to happen, dude. I'm not that surprised.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, man, I wouldn't be surprised if that repo goes.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It's got slow as heck development. It's not getting actively maintained, and that's partly because the changes that I had to do to get Qt4 WebKit to even build was a pain in the backside. So honestly, I'm not surprised if that project just up and goes kablooey.
Yeah, it's pretty much that's pretty much like a lot of projects these days, Ben.
Yeah, so if I plan to use anything with KDE4 in the future, it's probably going to be Kubuntu 14.04 or that Katana project that I told you about.
Okay, Mark Yates, I sent you a request for the discussion if you want to join it whenever you want to.
No worries.
But no, before we get into the meat of the discussion, a bit of news. Discord has a bit of competition now.
Really?
Basically, there is a false Discord alternative called Revolt.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be looking into it very soon. It just got started not long ago. It's still a baby application. But if it does very well, I am going to be expecting big things from this because, I mean, yes, everybody uses Discord, everybody uses Facebook, everybody uses whatever they can pretty much get their hands on. But the thing is, though, for us false people, we only have one option right now, and that's Element, and that's a Matrix client.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the only thing.
I actually have gotten onto Element. Ricky, remember that one time we hung out on there?
Yeah, I mean, I still have the element room. It's just I haven't reactivated it in quite some time.
Yeah, you've
I
got
have
to
to,
update that.
I have to update that at some point.
Yeah, and actually, Destination Linux has started using that chat room as well.
Oh yeah, they're pretty much blowing up right now.
Uh,
They're pretty much doing live streams more frequently now.
yeah. I'll be right
But
back, guys. I got to get a glass of water.
okay, Ben, take your time.
Yeah, the
But
bottom
no,
one, the last one.
but no, Revolt is going to be something I'm going to be looking into over the next few weeks. I am pretty certain that there's going to be big things in store for Revolt. I mean, I've seen a few images of it. It looks like Discord, but it's completely false.
Mm-hmm.
But but there's a few other things I'm going to be looking into as well over time. I'm still looking on alternative2.net, which is where I get most of my false software from. I'm just trying to get as much false software into my life as much as possible.
Yeah, good idea.
Right now, the computer that I'm recording on, by the way, for those who don't know, I am recording off of the latest version of Fedora.
Oh.
With the LXDE desktop environment. But yeah, LXDE is my favorite environment. It's really fast. It gives me that Windows 98, Windows 95 feel. It's just very good. I've been a huge fan of LXDE since I got into Linux a couple years back. Even though the very first distro I started with was Peppermint, back then Peppermint was using a combination of both elements from XFCE and LXDE. So I was technically using LXDE at the time. It's just it was mixed. But no, I have, if Revolt gets enough attention, I'm expecting big things to come from it, because the thing is, it's about time that Discord got a false competitor.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's time that we finally got an open source version of Discord, because honestly, the trouble is, yes, it's a free app, but there's a lot of commercialism in it, and it's just not the best client that I've ever seen for.
Well, and plus, not all Linux distros can run Discord efficiently.
No, like for example, you have to do a bit of work, at least in OFS, to get Discord downloaded. You have to extract the dev file, and it's just it's not something I would recommend to users who don't know exactly how to extract the dev file. Let's see. But yeah, again, as far as it's just one of those things where we have but yeah, I'm glad that we're finally getting a Discord competitor for the open source community.
There's also a modified version of Discord called Lightcord that is actually a bit more privacy friendly. I mean, it's not completely false, but it is more privacy friendly, and it is available for all free major platforms.
Awesome. And a bit of a update on my end, Ricky. I rebuilt my AMD tower, and I didn't realize this, but the NVMe SSD I have in there is running Windows 11 beta, and I gotta tell you, that thing is a resource hog from hell. I gotta tell you, it is just awful. I have never seen any. It's using like almost 8 gigs out of my 16 gigs of RAM, dude. It is bad.
Are you saying that out of the box, Windows 11 uses all that RAM by default?
Yes. Whether I'm just using Chromium to browse or like playing a video game or something like that, it is using, even with only those 2 apps and Discord open, it is using that much RAM.
What in tarnation is going on with that?
Dude, I don't know, but it is that hungry for RAM. I mean, it is just awful.
It sounds like it sounds like to me it's more hungry. It's more hungry with RAM than Windows 10 was.
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, it is the most resource-heavy version of Windows I have ever seen.
And this is the reason why I stick with Windows 10 over Windows 11. Because the thing about Windows 10 is Windows 10 just works, in my opinion, especially when it comes to how much RAM it consumes.
And hello, William. Good to see you.
Hey, William, I'll send you the link too, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're on my Discord anyway. I'll just send it to you directly. I don't mind at all.
Yeah. Regardless, I might restore this tower back to Windows 10 because I have never seen a desktop that's as heavy as this. Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm sorry, but I got to drop. I'm falling asleep here.
All right, Seeker. No problem.
Have a good night, Seeker.
All right, guys.
Yeah. We're going to get more in here later, but yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, that's nice, Mark. That's nice. Okay, I think basically we waited a few minutes. It's time for us to get started. Let's start with the discussion of KDE4. Now, I'm going to share my screen.
All right.
Actually, do I really need to?
Honestly, I recommend it that way. Everyone doesn't have to pull up the link to.
Yeah, true.
All right. So go. Ooh, it's Fedora with what desktop is that?
This is LXDE.
Okay, so KDE4 Plasma.
Yep, basically released 2008, 13 years ago. The last stable version of this thing was 4.11.22. Written in QML and C++, Unix-like environment, of course. There's its license, there's where it's from, everything. But basically, just to summarize a little bit of this thing, KDE4 was the fourth generation of the KDE workspace environment. It consisted of free workspaces, each targeting a certain platform. Plasma Desktop for traditional PCs and notebooks, Plasma Netbook for netbooks, and Plasma Active for tablet PCs and smaller devices. KDE4 was released as part of the KDE Software Compilation 4 and replaced Kicker, KDesktop, and Super Caramba, which formed the desktop in earlier KDE releases. They are bundled as the default environment with a number of free software operating systems such as Chakra, Kubuntu, Mangia, OpenSUSE, or TrueOS. With the release of KDE SC 4.11 on August 14, 2013, KDE4 was placed into a feature freeze, turned into a long-term stable package until 2015. On July 15, 2014, KDE4's successor, KDE Plasma, was released. And that's basically, essentially, in a nutshell, that is pretty much a nutshell of how KDE is. So I will say KDE is really good. Hey, Mark!
Hey, Mark, how you doing, man? We don't hear you, dude.
Yeah, give him a few minutes. He'll sort it out.
There we go. I got it now.
There he is.
How you doing, Mark?
I had the switch on the microphone muted. I'm doing on the actual physical microphone. I'm doing fantastic. It's been an amazing week. With a brand new company. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Ting. You might be, probably. Ting Wireless, or Ting Mobile. They're owned by Two Cows, and they're a mobile phone provider, and they also do fiber internet to rural areas. Specifically, they try to service rural areas where the large cable companies and stuff don't reach out to. So they're excellent. They're really good people, but it's been great. Been a learning experience.
Nice. That's good, man.
I'm doing the training portion now, so
Good.
That's awesome.
Good.
I'm currently studying for my A+ exam.
excellent.
Mhm.
Good.
Yeah, I'm taking the Core 1 test next Friday, as a matter of fact.
Mhm.
Cool.
So Mark, we're discussing KDE4 and its legacy, and how it shaped KDE Plasma as a whole. What do you think of the history and the philosophies that KDE4 brought to the table that would eventually evolve into KDE Plasma?
Yeah. I mean, if you have any experience with KDE at all, that is.
I do.
Yeah.
I think I'll kind of take this at a different angle if you're okay with it.
Oh,
I
no
think
problem.
that KDE made some mistakes early on. There was a huge fan base for KDE. There always has been. But I personally did not like the kickoff menu. And I feel like from the kickoff menu, that has evolved within the Plasma. And they figured out that not only can you have like a Windows-esque, Windows 10-esque start menu style, but they also took from GNOME to offer the full screen app launcher, which I have really started getting used to with GNOME and Fedora. Of course, I've been using Cinnamon for a while. So they've added so much functionality, and they've always had a lot of customization, and it's just more modernized, more sleek looking. I love Qt because for whatever reason, Qt Windows and the graphics have a certain look about them that is so subtle that people would not recognize it when you compare it to GTK based apps. It's really clean looking. Something to do with the pixels. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, I've had my experiences with both KDE4 and Plasma, but KDE4 specifically, my first time ever using it was about, I think, maybe 2 years ago, when me and Ben learned from Serge on a live stream how to install Slackware.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
That I will say that was an enjoyable experience, and I hope that we can actually have more experiences with Surge again at some point. Maybe, who knows? But I will say though, I will say I do agree with William on one thing. When it comes to KDE, it has struggled with older hardware. It's not just KDE4, but KDE5 as well. There have been a few problems here and there, and I'm hoping that in a general sense, KDE can fix some issues when it comes to KDE's overall development and its relationship to older hardware. Because the thing is, not everybody, can afford a $1,000 computer or a keyboard or a mouse. The older hardware basically is essentially where it needs to be. You wanted to say some things about it, William? I can bring you in if you want me to.
Yeah, let's have him on. Bring on good old William.
Yeah, why not?
I think
send
much
a link
of
to
that,
him too, so he can put his 2 cents in here.
Cool.
Yeah, might as well.
I think much of the hardware, has improved with the Linux kernel overall.
Yeah, I mean, especially with kernel 5.x. I mean,
it's
that has brought in a lot of
Yeah.
improvements to the software. And,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know, I would say that, and by the way, Mark, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there is a GitHub page called Katana that brings in a newer version of KDE4, apparently.
Well,
Hey,
Uh,
William.
I just wanted to speak. I know y'all are talking about the old KDE4, but
Yeah.
why? I mean, it's dead.
Well, it's dead, yes, but it has a legacy and it has a lot to do, William, with the development of Plasma and how Plasma is today. So that's why we're talking about it.
Yes.
Well, I kind of wanted to speak because the Dell Mini 1010 I brought off Macari just this year worked with Plasma just fine underneath a gig of RAM at 0.9 gigs. It is
Mhm.
900 megs of RAM, and it ran on, but it didn't lag. But the system would overheat under lightweight tasks, like that small of a task would overheat it.
Oh my goodness.
The way, like, okay, I took it apart and went look inside. Come to find out, Dell made some bad choices. One, the little ribbon cable you plug into the connector, it broke when I tried to change the hard drive out.
Oh.
Two, I couldn't fix it back into place, which let the keyboard bust instead of use an external one. Three, the RAM and processor on a separate little itty bitty daughter board about that wide. Like, you can't
What the
change the
Oh
RAM
my
in it.
goodness.
Not without ripping out the processor board with it. Like, the processor board is about the size of this laptop size hard drive, like close to this size,
Hmm.
but shorter. And it's a 2-in-1. It worked,
Wow.
but it ran on Windows XP. It had Windows 8 officially activated. Someone modified it with Start Menu 8 with some kind of software that looked like it's pirated, so I wiped it. Threw Debian on it, and it worked. It began. Okay, the 32-bit Linux is nearly dead. It kind of is because I've noticed that Linux Mint stopped 32-bit for the later versions. Ubuntu has shut 32-bit down.
Mhm.
It just seems like it's going away the dodo bird right now. I can't
Yeah.
do it anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
x86 and 64 is now in the twilight of its career, so to speak. I think it'll be around for years to come, but less and less
Yeah. Mhm.
machines will be sold with x86.
Well, look who just popped in here. Hey, Dominic, head of
But I don't-
Farron
But I don't
Oh,
like
boy.
ARM, though. Can I explain why I don't like ARM that well?
Why is
Sure
that?
you can, William. Go right ahead.
It's not based on a PC, though. ARM is different. It's like, okay, the Mac M1s are beautiful. I touched an M1 Mac recently this year. I touched one back in June. A cousin of mine has an M1 MacBook that's thin. It's completely silent. I touched it, and I was like, it's cool and all, but it's over $1,200, like $1,200. Like, it's that high. Like, it's not cheap. And so I don't want an M1 that's like $2,000. Too much.
No. Here's the thing, William. I'm happy with my MacBook Pro 2012 version. I'm happy with it. I would not change it one bit.
But why is it that people so cling on to the old Macs when they don't make those anymore with Intel anymore?
Well, the main reason why I think people cling on to old hardware in general is because I think there's two things with that. Number one, usually with older hardware, if you take care of it real good and you know how it works and everything, there's usually that sentimental value that comes with it. And number two, you can just basically use the old hardware and just play around with it, tinker around with it, and see what you can do with it. That's why
I made a Dell Mini, a retro machine, but some games won't run on it good. Some will, some will not. That's just what I tried. Mark, before you continue, do you have DDR3 parts? Because I don't have any more DDR2 devices.
Yeah, I know. I figured you were phasing those out. As a matter of fact, I've made a decision to be DDR4 only going forward.
I got rid of I have some DDR. Sorry to interrupt, but I have some DDR2 parts around, but I don't have any mobile machines anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm going to switch to the DDR3 only.
Yeah.
And laptop size hard drives are okay, but the DDR3 stuff is fine. The
Mhm.
DDR2
Yeah,
and lower, I don't want that.
DDR3. No problem. I don't blame you. UVO, do you want any DDR2 stuff that's gotten so old now? I don't know if you have a use for it or not.
DDR2.
Yeah, I was going to send you a little baggie too because I had promised you way back when with William.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah,
I
you
was
can
just
send it to me,
patiently
no
waiting.
problem.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's just I was looking to change some stuff out because I don't have any more old computers on hand. But I'm looking
Yeah.
to get Ricky. Oh, or not Ricky. Mark, do you have parts for HP ProDesk 600 G1?
Pro disc, like a hard drive.
Like a ProDesk. Let me show you. It's my computer. It's a ProDesk business machine. Hold on. Let me turn my camera around to show you what I'm talking about. Hold on. This right here. This is the ProDesk G1.
Oh,
It's
Pro disc.
600.
Well, it's going to use industry standard parts. What are you needing for it specifically?
Hold on. Let me take the lid off while it's running. I know it's a bad idea, but I'll do it anyway. This is the hard drive that accepts a bigger hard drive above it, but underneath is a hard drive caddy for the laptop sized ones.
Yeah,
I don't know if you have any set of screws that can fit for this specific unit.
I've got a caddy or two I can send you.
Well, mine has a built-in caddy though, Rick.
Oh, okay.
Mark,
Yeah, so you don't really need. You're not
like,
trying
you
to put
see
a 2.5-inch drive in, or
let me show you. Like right here, the screws came with the unit, but
Yeah.
down here I need a set of screws that match like this set. That's the problem. Like Amazon, they
Gotcha,
sell
yeah.
them.
I can
But they're
probably.
so
I
different.
say I'm sorry. I didn't listen well. I'm tired. Yeah, I've
Oh, that's
probably
okay.
got some screws that'll fit that.
Because this is what it looks like on the inside. Here's the RAM that's DDR3. But the way they designed it is that, and they put the RAM and the thing too close together.
Four there, though.
But this is what the way it looks, and that's the mini bracket that is needed to have to fit other additional cards I might get later. But this right here just needs those screws because I want to put two drives in here instead of having to swap this drive out, take the screws off, put on another one, put it in. I could just put a smaller drive down under that one and have it where I can boot from it or use it as a spare drive with an SSD on it at some point. Not have to have swapping drives like crazy through the wazoo with this thing.
Yeah, I don't have any PCIs really available that isn't actually client video cards. But you know what? Graphics cards are something I've never really had the money to invest in a whole lot until recently. And with the GPU shortage, I tell you what, things are going to be hard for a long time.
I kind of wanted to investigate into why do people tout that solid state drives are better, because I've had a hard drive that really didn't fail too bad. The one in this computer, the one in the computer behind me, I took it from the old Dell. I made a video on the old Dell desktop I was given. I took it out, and the hard drive is still in good condition. It has no bad sectors or anything. It still turns on and works. But what is your opinion?
Hard disk drives are still useful for large storage capacities. If you've got a lot of data you want to store cheaply that you don't necessarily need lightning quick access to the drive, you just need to be reasonably fast.
I just don't really need a quick I don't need fast access because I just do Steam gaming. That's all I do. I don't do like business stuff. I do gaming.
Times are affected. If you care about load times, it depends on what games you're playing too.
I just play games that are older. I don't play any of the new stuff, but half of them load fine. But
I've started something.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. It's just look. One person, I won't name names, touted that an SSD is better than a rotational drive. Ben gets what I'm talking about.
Yes,
boy.
they're much quicker and they're more reliable. However, they just cost more per gigabyte as far as the level of storage capacity.
I don't need a 1 terabyte because obviously a terabyte SSD or more is going to cost a lot of money, and I don't have that now.
Yeah,
Right,
I wouldn't worry about trying to do a terabyte right now. At that budget, I would just stick with 240 or 512 if you can get away with it, or 480. Crucial.
I've got a laptop 500 gig rotational drive that works from the old Dell Mini I stole out of that I brought. This is a Western Digital Mobile Black, as you can see by the label of it.
Drive. Yeah.
What do you know about the Western Digital Black drives? Can you tell me
They're
about
better
what makes
quality. They're higher performance, so they will perform on a level. They're not too far off in performance from a cheaper SSD, like a Crucial BX series. They'll actually perform. They'll go toe to toe in some things. They're still slower, but it's not that noticeable to the normal user.
But I'm more worried about the drive. Oh, I'm more worried about drive failure because I need a physical hard drive to make a clink clink noise as a heads up noise. SSD would warn you it's about to fail, but you won't get no noise. You just get complete alerts on your computer, but no clink 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 clink, like no clicking of the head.
That's how you know. I mean, SSDs are very reliable. They're much better now with the new. I can't even think right now. The newer ones are much better than the older ones. The first ones that came out, they're much more reliable, and in many cases, they're much more reliable than a hard drive.
Yep.
So,
excuse me, y'all. I don't mean to. I don't
we
mean
to continue with the stream.
I don't mean the detour this, but something came across DistroWatch that I need to bring to attention.
Sure.
Oh no!
Once again, Ubuntu does it again. Just when you thought it couldn't get any more interesting or worse, or however you want it. Ubuntu to install Firefox as a snap.
What the heck?
Like, why? Debian has Snapd in its repository, and it almost wants to tear up its packaging system.
They've been doing this for a while. They really have.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I did not even know if they were going to make it a snap at some point. I thought they were just going to keep it as an app package, but, well, lo and behold, Ubuntu is going to make Firefox into a snap.
Yeah, this is the push that they're going away from repositories, and us Linux old guys and purists will tell you that moving away from the traditional repository to purely snaps or flat packs or app images is a terrible idea, because I think it becomes more and more like Windows every day that we try to appeal to the masses.
Yeah, hold on, William. Dominic just brought some to my attention. He says, this was at Mozilla's request. Per Canonical's distribution agreement with Mozilla, we are making the snap the default installation of Firefox on desktop ISOs starting with Ubuntu 20.10.
21.10.
21.10.
Yeah.
Okay,
which is the next major release of Ubuntu.
Exactly. But yeah, I did not know this beforehand, Dominic. Thank you for letting me know about this. I thought they were just making Firefox into a snap out of nowhere.
Oh, great! Windows 11 this black screen of death on me.
Wait, so what happened? What happened, Ben?
My Windows 11 just crashed on me into a B-sod.
Why am I not surprised?
Oh, shoot.
Wait, why do you think I got rid of Windows 10?
It's not 10, William. It's 11 that I mean.
Oh, but Windows 11 is going to... My computer can't do it. It just can't run it.
Yeah,
I was using a patched version of the beta that allows itself to run on unofficial hardware.
That's fine, but I'd rather not use either Windows 10 or 11, because if you have it patched, that means you have a security and I don't want to have a security hole in my end that I don't know about.
Yeah.
I might just go to Linux in another instance.
Dominic's saying something else too. Hold on a minute, Ben. 20.10 will keep the deb file intact. Okay, good. So they're not completely getting rid of the old Firefox. They're keeping the deb, but it's also going to have okay. The Ubuntu GNOME environment will pre-install the snap itself directly, but 22.04 will deb to snap Firefox entirely .deb wise.
Wow.
I got a brief question for Mark, Ben, and Ricky. What do y'all think about OpenSUSE shipping Opera browser in its own non-open source repository?
Like I say, I think it's a terrible idea to move away from native repositories altogether like that. It's fine to have options, but you start to become. I think it's the bigger picture. People want to focus on the details. The bigger picture. Say it again. The more we make it user-friendly and the more we appeal to the masses with Linux, we become more and more like Windows every day.
But Opera is not open source, though. They're not. They're proprietary, and it comes with it in the non-open source repository by default. You have to install it yourself.
That's a good point. You know, it's proprietary anyway.
Yeah, the thing
there
is,
are a lot of people that hate even proprietary software being in the kernel, but the argument for that is there are, to make it more usable for more people, it's necessary with some proprietary blobs. I personally draw my line in the sand. I prefer nothing past drivers that are required for hardware to work. When you start getting beyond that, one thing I love about Fedora is they only ship blob software. I personally draw my line in the sand. I prefer.
I will say one thing, though, about Fedora, though. The one thing that's really interesting is instead of using Pulse Audio, you're using Pipewire. And Pipewire so far has been very interesting.
Yeah.
But here's another thing.
Dominic is right. Windows 11 is just rebranded Windows 10 and with redesigns and all that kind of crap. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, Ben, we all knew that was coming, too.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like
I'll be right back. Gonna grab supper. I'll be right back. I think she's got it ready.
Ben, you and Ricky are gonna get excited that I'm actually gonna take another investigation into a smartphone manufacturer called Blue Products. Bold, like that's what it stands for.
Blue Products, you said, William?
Yes, it stands for Bold Like Us. It's an American manufacturer that has been around since early '09. They've been called out for having malware ship on their phones accidentally because the phones are not made in America. They're made overseas in China. So Blue did get called out on that. They did, but they fixed the issue after they got called that some of their earlier phones had malware on the Android version. Later versions of the phones don't have malware on them. This is confirmed because Wikipedia has the article about that, and I looked it up. I had a phone that's like this big. It's like a 4-inch phone that I got on Amazon. Brought it, scanned it for malware bytes, and it said that there was a malicious system component in it. I called Blue to confirm that, and they said that some antivirus products or Android marked system components as false positives. So I told them what one was affecting it, and I said malware bytes, and they later issued a system update that later fixed the issue. So it no longer flags it as malware.
That's good.
Wow. They got rid of that false thing that makes it. It's on Malwarebytes in. Malwarebytes said it was a false positive, but the update from Blue cleared it. Now, the UMX phone I got from Assurance Wireless has malware in it in the form of a notification pop-up about random news topics, like that's been flagged as malware by Malwarebytes. UMX, the Ultra Mobile experience, that's been flagged as malware by Malwarebytes. The only one. I've not tried other malware products or Android to see if there's the same result. I'm just digging into the Android malware so no one else does too. Now, it's fine if my personal data gets out there. It's already been out there from data breaches, but I'm willing to take risks. It's already been out there before.
Yeah, well, the thing is, William, as much as I hate to say this, once you're once basically your data gets out the first time, it's not going to go away that easily.
No.
I'm aware. My email's already been breached way before. It's been caught in several breaches accidentally without my knowledge. So
Yeah.
too late.
Yeah, that can happen sometimes. I mean, it's like Toss says, once you get on the internet, you're not safe whatsoever.
I mean, you can have the most private web browser and the most private VPN you can have at your disposal, but the thing is, you got to consider that on the internet, there's a lot of shady companies and there's a lot of shady people that are wanting to harvest and get your data and sell it for money. That's all they care about is the money.
I'm not angry by data leakage. No, there isn't really much the end user can do. There ain't much I can do to the leakage. Only the companies can. I can't much.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just take the consequence. I just take that risk and consequence.
Yeah, everyone does when they're online, William. I mean, you can't just, not, you can't avoid it. I mean, it's like, eventually, one way or another, your data is going to be breached. There's just nothing you can do about it.
I mean, Android I'm happy with, but I'm unable to get a whole new Apple device. I'm unable to because it's too expensive still. So I'm stuck on my old iPad.
Oh, God.
Well, the thing is, Apple will always have expensive devices. I doubt they'll ever make a cheap device.
And what do you know? Switch to Linux is in the house.
What?
Oh, hi, Tom.
Oh, hey, buddy.
How you doing, Tommy boy?
What did you think of that article I sent you, man? Basically, what I did is I sent Tom an article, and I have it up on Alternative 2 right in front of me. Cape Technologies buys ExpressVPN for $936 million.
What about ExpressVPN being under fire? What about that?
Oh, no.
Wait a minute. Is there something that I don't know that you know, William?
I'll spill the beans. ExpressVPN came under fire as one of the employees was working for a UAE government or something like that, like an Arab government.
Yeah.
Basically, they came under fire for it about some kind of working for as a spy operative in the company or something like that. I just learned about it this week, and it's too long to explain, but Tom might know about it. I can't really go into detail because it's too lengthy, but let me Google it. Let's see, ExpressVPN. Let's see, Express. Hold on, because this is a story I saw, and I'm like, why are people recommending ExpressVPN when they're underneath fire? Hold on, let me go to news real quick.
William, what you've got to understand, and I know you do, as far as logically, but you have to come to terms with the fact that a lot of YouTubers, they're going to promote and push products that make them money, which is not necessarily best for the viewer.
Basically,
it is. Unfortunately, they're rewarded for doing that. Where me and you might have we think that's stupid, and why in God's name would you do that? Because I agree with you wholeheartedly. They should not be doing that.
Well, wait a minute. It's the CIO, the chief. It is the chief
industrial officer or something like that.
the chief industrial officer helped United Arab Emirates hack into phones' computers. The ExpressVPN employee helped that. Literally.
What?
Like literally. Like they're sticking with Daniel Garrick. His history and expertise made him an invaluable hire for our mission to protect users' privacy and security, it says. Basically, a UAE government employee used zero-click attacks to hack into internet accounts, devices, including those in the United States. So basically, he is from the United Arab Emirates. He helped the United Arab Emirates orchestrate a massive cyber spying espionage on computers across the world. The chief information officer, literally.
God.
Yeah,
like this was talking about a lot.
If you can, William, could you link me to that, please, so I can look at that?
Okay, I'm not using
let's bring that up.
ExpressVPN
Share
though,
the screen.
because
No,
I'm not.
I know you're not
No.
using it, but I would at least like to read the article.
Okay, I'll get it to you.
Yeah, that's
Hello,
good for
Lamer.
the
How
stream
you
right
doing,
there.
man?
That'll bring in some eyeballs. That's
Because
important.
this is new that got my attention. I was like, what the world is going on with ExpressVPN now?
And you're
Like-
right. People are promoting it left and right. Even Tom does, because until now they were very trusted. But they
Tom doesn't.
The thing is, they were trusted until Tom learned about the acquisition that happened with Cape Technologies that I read up just last night.
Well, tell Tom that go there and look at it, because Tom shouldn't promote it if he's about privacy. I get that, but he shouldn't promote it right at all because of what they're doing.
Tom will not promote anything that he is genuine in his faith, and he has integrity.
I use Windscribe VPN. I've not had an issue with Windscribe. I know they don't give you unlimited data unless you pay for it, but I don't use a VPN that frequently. However,
I hear Windscribed come. I hear Windscribed came up a few times with Techlore. Techlore's the one that I heard about Windscribe from. I've also heard about Movad VPN. Proton VPN is the one I use.
Wait a minute, hold on. Y'all are gonna freak out if I say this, but private internet access was also purchased recently by a company.
Yeah, they were purchased by this. From what I've read up, Cape Technologies. They bought private internet access not long ago.
They did, and I heard about them. Like, what in the what? Like, I know VPNs are for privacy, but I use my VPN for messing with scammers. I'm not worried if my personal information already ends up on the net. It already did before, so I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about messing with scammers and using a VPN to hide my location so they can't find me. But for everyday use, I don't use that because I use Steam. And they don't like you using a VPN because if you use a VPN with Steam, they may punish you for trying to circumvent the pricing restriction. They punish you for using a VPN because they've already made it clear VPNs go against their terms of service. They already made an announcement earlier about using VPNs to circumvent pricing lockouts.
What companies? What company are you referring to? Or
Valve doesn't really want you to use a VPN because if you do, they'll issue a warning. If you want to change your payment location, use a credit card from a different country other than the one you're already in to change your location.
Very good, Steve.
Hey, Steve. Hey, Lamer. Oh, hello, Mitchell.
Yeah. Mitchell wasn't here.
Get that article too. Get that up on the screen, boys. That's eyeballs.
I sent it to Ricky. I'm gonna have to do updates on my Linux Debian SID system, so I gotta take it down for maintenance.
That's good for
I'm
you.
gonna go down for a while.
Yeah. Thank you for the article, William. I will send it to Tom as soon as I can.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should bring Steve in here. He's cool.
Yeah, I think bring Steve and Lane.
Just letting you all know, for those who are coming in, if you want to come into the live chat here, right at the very top of the chat is my Proton mail. Email me there, and I will email you back a link to get into the chat.
By the way,
Another
guys,
question.
I think I know why my tower was crashing like that, and it's RAM heavy so much. I forgot to push down the second half of the CPU cooler.
Oops.
Well, now you done it, Ben.
Well, it's partly because it was partly because I tried to push it down and screw it in, but it wouldn't go in the holes too well.
I got another question for you. Question one.
What?
Okay.
William?
Why is it that? Let me see. Hold on. I'm trying to think what I was going to say, but I forgot. Sorry.
It's okay.
Question one. Do you think that people should consider finding a way to harden their Linux system against intrusions?
Yes.
Yep. I think
Yeah,
it's a
I highly
wonderful.
agree with that because, I mean,
Yeah.
even if we don't give people the root password, if they somehow, by chance, I'm not saying this is a possibility easily, but if they get our password to our regular user, it doesn't matter if they have our root password or not. They can go in like that, you know? Now, that's not very likely to happen, but if you don't use a strong as heck password, good luck.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
and-
tracking. Sorry to interrupt.
I will also say, Ben, if you want to secure your Linux system, I would recommend using the Linux hardened kernel. The Linux hardened kernel, because
Nice.
the hardened kernel, unlike all the other kernels, has more security patches in it than the normal kernel does.
You're right, Ricky. And I've honestly
But here's.
considered. Hold on.
Sorry to interrupt.
You're fine. But I was just going to say that, yeah, if I do a reinstall at any point, I am planning to switch maybe to the hardened kernel in the long run.
Yeah. Hold on, William. The easiest way to install the hardened kernel easily is if you go back to Arch.
Oh boy, I don't know how to install Arch with the hardened kernel though.
I do. I know how to do it.
Well, maybe later tomorrow you and I can go through that. Maybe.
Yeah, later tomorrow, of course.
Here's something I wanted to point out. There are a couple
Y'all
of
should
issues
stream that.
in the hold on. And
I'll be
Debbie
right back. I
said
gotta ask my dad something.
there's a couple of vulnerabilities right now in the SID branch I'm tracking. There are quite a few. There's CVE 2019, 2021. There's so many of them involving the Linux 5.13 kernel, 5.10 for Debian, 5.13. There's some that are obsolete fixed. There's quite a few vulnerabilities in some of the packages for Debian I'm looking into right now. One involving the wget, one involving the kernel, one involving RPM, one for the software properties, one for QEMU, one for the Xserver Xorg Video Novo driver issue. Some of these are low urgency, some of these are minimal, some of these are obsolete, some are fixed, some are high, but I'm looking at the different ones. I'm just tracking the security of the vulnerabilities in Debian only to report back on what I'm finding. The CVE 2021-3796 is XXD. There's a vulnerability in that package. I wonder what the vulnerability entails. I'll have to look it up in the report. Okay, let's see what that vulnerability entails here. Okay, hold on. It's a use after free vulnerability with 3796. It says Vim is vulnerable to a use after free vulnerability with Vim. It points toward Vim for one at the cve.miltre.org. One is called it's like at nbd.nist.gov. So let me search for Debian. Hold on. Oh, Debian. Hold on. Debian. This is why I don't recommend running SID as your main server. I don't, because of that. It's Vim. That's what that is. Vim is vulnerable to a use after free vulnerability. It affects SID, Bullseye, Buster Stretch, Bookworm. They're all vulnerable, so Vim is a vulnerable package. If you have Vim on your Debian stable, get rid of it. Because this vulnerability is 20. Yeah, it's 2021-3796. It is not yet fixed. Vim version 2.8.2 has got a vulnerability that says release unstable source type, but it's unfixed though. It's a minor issue. So if you have Vim, you might want to rip it out.
Yeah.
So some of these are in Debian from other distributions too that use Vim. I I just want to report on that vulnerability.
Okay, well, thank you for letting us know about that.
I don't have BIM on my system, so I'm safe.
Okay.
I'm going to look at some of these vulnerabilities and see which ones are. There are too many of them to go through, but I'm going to pick out a few. BIM is one, but the XXD one
Just a
seems to be
second.
pointing toward BIM, I think. That's what my guess is.
Oh, hold on.
Something along those.
Hold on a minute.
I'll look at the wget one and tell you what the wget vulnerability is at.
I've been there, done that.
Okay, let's see. wget. Let's see what wget has a vulnerability. WGT.
Been there, done that.
Okay, that's Vim I already looked at. Okay, it's saying toward Vim. The wget vulnerability is technically not reported right now, so it has an unknown real vulnerability at this time. So I'm flying blind, an airplane blind with a blindfold on. The vulnerabilities. So, oh, Ben. Oh,
They shouldn't be flying blind. I'm sure they're aware of them. That's why they have much of the bug reporting and stuff, or any kind of, they've got stuff built into the operating systems now to make it seamless to report any bugs, or as far as vulnerabilities, that's different. But, they're looking at the code every day, and, someone on the project's auditing it. It's open source. The community's looking at it, so hopefully everything will get patched up. It's not perfect. Some things won't get patched for a while, but that's why you choose a distro with a lot of people working on it too.
Well, Debian's been around since like 1991. OpenSUSE didn't come around till later than that.
Well, it's not always about the life of it. It's more about the current team for me, and knowing that you've got good, knowledgeable, competent people working on it.
But let's talk about this, Mark. Do you ever use OpenSUSE?
I have in the past, and I could never stay with it.
But the problem is that Opera browser is in the non-open source repository directly in there. It's not available in Debian or others.
Well,
Gentoo has it.
about that, but that's probably not. That's probably going to be more the norm going forward. They're going to start packing more stuff in there like that. Like I said, I'm not crazy about it. I think drivers only in the kernel, and yes, proprietary where it makes sense, where reasonable for people with that hardware that want to use Linux.
But I don't want proprietary stuff in my installation unless if I want it. I don't want it directly in there.
Correct. Yeah. I want to go out and get that if I need it. I would prefer to run an open source alternative if one's available that works well. Even if it's not quite as good, I'm willing to make that sacrifice.
But Gentoo and Arch work, but I don't want to wait hours and hours and hours for stuff to build.
Well, in Arch, it's pretty much all binaries except for the AUR stuff, William.
Well, AUR is okay, but I don't want to be building the software every time I turn around. I have to build this, build that, unbuild this, unbuild that, build this. I don't want to keep rebuilding everything up from ground up every single time with a merge. I mean, that's too annoying.
Yeah, well, eMerge does take a while. I'll give it that. I mean, even if you had like the beefiest Threadripper kick-ass system, Gentoo will still take a while to install. It's true.
That's just why I never used it, though. I mean, Ben, you've gotten me into using it, but I don't really like the emerge because it takes a while to build this. And there's not a lot of stuff available.
Even on Calculate, yes, there are a lot of binaries in it, but still some things are not. Still, some things are source-based in that distro, and it just takes too damn long to build anything on a Gentoo based OS. It just does.
But I'd rather have my stuff installed from day one and not take 12 hours, 72, 96 hours to create stuff to get it to work the way I want it. It's supposed to be for niche hardware, but let's just get this straight. Niche hardware would be like very rare machines you wouldn't have in your home.
Yeah. And Lamer says use something like Manjaro or Garuda. And I have to admit, I'm running Garuda on my 2013 MacBook Pro, and I love it. I mean, there's nothing bad about it. And
well, I don't mind neither one of those. I've tried Manjaro before. I have. It works, but I don't know. My first
I will say Arch distros, they're good, but it's just, in my opinion, if I'm going to run something Arch based, I'd rather run Storm OS or plain stock Arch. That's just my opinion.
Are you still developing your system?
Yes, William. My team and I have just set up a brand new ISO from a few weeks ago. We haven't gotten around to the new version yet for September. Right now we're doing only a 2-month release cycle every 2 months. So we're not doing a month release like a lot of stuff.
What do y'all think about Steam Deck using Arch Linux as its main OS now? What do y'all think about that?
Steam Deck?
I think it's awesome that we have a Linux gaming console. That thing looks amazing.
Actually, I might be pre-ordering one as a Christmas gift. Maybe. I don't.
You are?
I don't know yet, William. I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Good luck with that, Ben, because not all games on Steam will run with Proton at all. Good luck with it.
Well, they're supposedly in the Steam Deck supposed to fix that.
But there's one slight problem, though. You've got some programs that rely on anti-cheat software that don't work in Linux.
Well, like I said, William, they're supposed to circumvent that with the Steam Deck, and hopefully that will carry over to the PC version of Steam.
Is that what you're hearing, Ben?
That's what I've heard, yeah. And I mean, even Lamer in the chat can attest to that.
But easy anti-cheat in Battle, there's a Battle Eye service anti-cheat that don't work for me. When I try to do Dead by Daylight or Realm Royale or another multiplayer game, it doesn't work because the anti-cheat says it fails to install a service. So it didn't work for me.
Well, Lamer says false. There's quite a few games that can run within Proton like that.
But how do I get the anti-cheat to work and not error out?
He says Valve is working with the anti-cheat developers in order to bypass that.
Oh, okay. Because Chromium is updated to version 93 now. It was at version 90 and unstable, but it's at 93. So if you're using Chromium, make sure to update it because it's at version 93 directly in the unstable brand.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I tried using like System Back and a couple of other things. Yeah. And Lamer said anti-cheat is not going to work at the moment because they're still patching it and that sort of thing in order to bypass all that stuff.
I see. Okay.
But there's other games like Dead by Daylight that use the easy anti-cheat.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they've got to patch a lot of games in order to actually push out said update.
Well, that's fine. I mean, I've been testing games for Windows, and my Lego games work, but the problem is some crash. Like, I got Lego Harry Potter years 1 through 4 that work on Linux just as well, but my other Lego games crash.
Yeah.
On my Lenovo ThinkPad Edge with 16 gigabytes of RAM, I got Doom 3 running on it perfectly thanks to Proton.
Yeah, Proton has come. Hold on, William. Proton has come a long way, and it's going to continue to get better. We just have to be very patient with all their changes and things like that. So, I mean, eventually we won't need things like, Lutris or Wine eventually because a lot of these games are just going to work in Proton through Steam. So it's a pretty nice platform.
The only thing I could get running is my Sims game, such as The Sims 3, does not work. It used to, but you had to automatically tweak the game files to get the game to start without that launcher in the way. Now I know Ricky and Ben are not Sims fans. I am, but
No,
the
that's
Sims
okay.
3
I mean,
supportive. It's weird. I don't know. It's just I've been testing the Linux side of things now, and I like it. I've gotten games such as an MX versus ATV game that works, another MX versus ATV game that works, plus Sonic the Hedgehog games a little bit. Some do work, some do not. I don't know.
Well, speaking of games, one of my favorite games from back when I was younger got a re-release. Got a re-release recently, and that is Quake 1 got a re-release.
Lucky. I didn't really get a. There was a free game called Jagged Alliance Gold, and another game that was also free until September 23rd. You might want to get those games before they go off free. THQ Nordic is having a publisher weekend.
Damn.
Okay.
Again,
But anyway,
besides Quake 1, the one thing I'm noticing about video games in general, and I think you all have noticed it here and there, a lot of games have been switching their licenses to one of the FOSS licenses recently, and I'm glad that a lot of these games are open sourcing their code.
Yeah, that's interesting. By the way, just as an update about Storm OS, if I don't know if this is going to be a good thing to do, Ricky, but I was thinking of probably including an option, not as the main option, but including the hardened kernel as an option, maybe.
Well, the thing is, here's an idea. If you're wanting to include a different kernel in there, my suggestion is include not just the hardened kernel, but include also the LTS kernel for older hardware compatibility.
Yeah. I was thinking of adding those as options in Calamaris and telling Calamaris if I include that to remove the mainline kernel, maybe.
About what? Well, Lamer asked me a question. The Sims 3 is via Steam, Lamer. I brought the Steam version, yes. The Origin, I got the Origin program to work via Lutris. It ran, but my Origin games would crash directly through Lutris. The Sims 2 I tried on Lutris crashed when I did the Lutris install method. It ran, but it crashed after a bit, and let's just say it didn't work.
Yeah, and also about something about KDE4. I don't know if any of you are aware of this other than Ricky, but there is a repo called Katana that works on Debian, Ubuntu with deb files, but I honestly suggest if you're going to use it to use the build scripts, because honestly, I tried the deb files. It's just too much a pain in the butt to get them to work that way. So if you do try this repo, please attempt to use, and I will maybe do a video on this if I try it again, I would say using the build.sh script is 1,000 times more likely to work. So if there's enough demand, I will maybe do a video on how to install this.
I would also like to, sorry for interrupting, but there is some news that I do want to cover for just a brief second. We have a few distro releases to talk about tonight. The UParts have released the Ubuntu 6.04 OTA 19 for mobile devices. This is Ubuntu Touch, by the way. Emma Buntis has a new version out. Sparky Linux has a new version. Ubuntu 18.04.6 is out. Kali Linux has a new version. STix 21.9 is out. Wunix has a new version, and GhostBSD has a new version.
Oh, cool. Well, the last time I tried any BSD, whether it was FreeBSD or GhostBSD on this AMD laptop, Ricky, I tried my darndest to get my AMD, to get my Realtek AC Wi-Fi installed on there. It would not work worth a darn. I tried it. I tried and tried and tried. even FreeBSD 14, the testing version, I tried. I just can't get the damn thing to work. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but honestly, it's just not doable. I mean, I guess it's just too new. So I just finally said, forget it, and put Linux.
I tried Sparky Linux recently, and there is a way you can install Sparky on your existing Debian SID system without any problems. There is a way to do it. Basically, what you're going to have to do is this is going to require root privileges or sudo. You'll need a GPG archive file of Sparky Linux's repository. By default, you'll need it. Otherwise, Debian, the system will say you're using an unsigned repository. Unsecure repositories are disabled by default. You basically need a GPG file of the Sparky Linux repository, easy to get from a Sparky Linux system installed. Whether it be a virtual machine or an actual computer running it, you'll need it for the 64-bit if you're using a 64-bit version of Sparky on your Debian SID system or testing or things like that. Or if you're using a 32-bit, you'll need a 32-bit version of it, of the system you installed of Sparky. You have to put the files in the correct spot for apt to recognize a GPG file, run apt update, and it should work, but you got to have that Sparky repository in your Debian system to install Sparky stuff from without having to install Sparky from the ground up. I know how to do it, but it's so long and complicated. I'm just giving you the too long didn't read version of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried that, Ricky or Ben, on a separate virtual machine?
He's AFK, but I've never played with Sparky Linux whatsoever, man.
I have, and I tried, and it worked. I mean, it's just Debian, but it's modified to be Sparky standards. It's rolling, and the rolling version is unstable, but the stable version changes every so often when a new version of Debian drops. That's just how it is.
Okay.
I mean, I've tried it, and I liked it, but I would rather have Sparky or Seduction. Any one of those systems, the best of both worlds, without having to burn an image, reinstall it over my current system, and wipe everything out. That is annoying.
I agree.
So, I don't know. Like, how do you want to change distros without wiping your hard drive? Like, how do you do it? Do you A, use a third-party repository, or B, install it in a virtual machine, or C, wipe your hard drive clean and just reinstall it and lose all your data?
I don't know.
Oh, new Crunchbang++ out too. I remember Crunchbang. That was based on Arch, I believe.
Yep.
Puppy Linux is still around, though. Puppy Linux is not even gone. It's still here.
Puppy Linux has been around for years. There's an Arch version. There's an Ubuntu. It has a version for every single form of Linux.
Blackware is available. I would love to see somebody make a Gentoo puppy. Now that would be fun.
Oh, that would be beautiful for Ben to set up a Gentoo Puppy Linux.
I am not doing that. I mean,
nice try.
I mean, I have tried to respin Gentoo several times, Ricky. It's just I can't find any stinking good documentation for that.
Ben, haven't you tried searching for Woof CE? That's what's used to build.
Wait. Lamer just said there is a Gentoo Puppy Linux. Oh my goodness.
Huh?
Oh,
wait,
God.
there is?
There is. Yeah.
Oh my God. What's the name? What's the name of it, Lamer, so I can look it up?
Oh God.
This has got to be interesting.
Oh my goodness.
Now, one thing that I did sort of succeed in is building my own calculate version, but it didn't carry over any of my settings. I don't know why, but it just was a flop.
I wrote my own Debian distro I did with the Trinity desktop environment, but it's not meant for daily use just because, one, it's rolling, two, it's meant for experts to know to handle SID, three, the things I did in it will not carry over to the final one.
Yeah.
Carry over to the final build.
Yeah. Building your own version of Debian is a lot more heck than it's worth.
I used a script though. I used a series of scripts that I ran, and I tweaked the scripts to take what I did and modify it. But I made an ISO image that's over 22 gigs. It's like Blu-ray size.
Golly.
Holy my!
Yeah, the compression did not automatically compress every like 10 gigs of software more down to fit on a single DVD. I was trying to make a Knoppix-based version that would use compression, but that backfired. So I spawned a 22 gig ISO that had be burnt to a Blu-ray.
Yeah.
That's too big.
Wow.
That's 22 gigs is a bit much. I will say that.
But Blu-rays are 50 like 25 to 50 gigs. That can hold a ton of software and not worry about the internet.
I mean, honestly, I would not include all that junk inside of a distro. I would make just myself a 22 gig or 50 gig or 100 gig version that fits on a Blu-ray disc. That fits on Blu-ray, and that would contain all the software I need without relying on a repository. Just that it runs from Blu-ray, straight from the Blu-ray drive. Yeah. Well, that's understandable, William, but, we all have our own way of building.
But not everyone's going to have fast internet or affordable internet, though.
No, that's true.
I mean, I've got cable, and not everyone's going to have good internet access around the world, so what are you going to do?
Yeah, you're just going to have to download what you can and go about it that way, I guess.
Ben, so what are you still doing with your MacBook?
Actually, this is going to sound funny. I actually have two MacBooks now. I have my sister's old MacBook Air from 2013 that came with Mountain Lion on it, and then I have my one that I've had for a while that came with Mavericks on it, but now it's running Garuda Linux, as a matter of fact.
Is it going well, Ben?
Garuda is actually very good. I have not changed the theming. I have not changed anything on it. It's actually the one Arch distro that I have not changed the look and feel on it whatsoever. I'm actually very happy with it.
Well, I've got something I want to say that I'm going to come up, the next open chat that Ricky does, I'm going to bring on my blue phone I'm ordering, that I already ordered and it's not yet here. But I'm going to bring it up on stream to talk about my recent findings on the new blue phone I'm ordering. And then I will do a separate video on the unboxing. But if I find something different with this one, I'm going to probably indicate that this one probably does not have malware on it. It's probably a false positive by Malwarebytes. Okay. But why do you need Malwarebytes for Android, though? I mean, Malwarebytes...
I don't know. I don't think... I personally couldn't see that being a thing that... I mean, Android is very open and it's very customizable, but I mean, at the same time, that's not a bad thing, but I mean, in reality, I don't think, Android is, or even iOS for that matter, really needs an antivirus product installed on it for that matter.
The thing is, Ben, in my opinion, the Android, what most people don't really know about Android is it under a hood is running a Linux kernel. And in my opinion, anything running a Linux kernel does not need an antivirus, because what are most antiviruses these days? .exe files. There is no chance that a .exe file can infiltrate a Linux kernel. Impossible.
Windows Defender, sorry to interrupt, but Windows Defender deleted an iOS exploit on my computer before recently.
Oh, it did? Oh, wow.
It did literally.
That's funny.
It actually erased the exploit used to jailbreak my iPad, and it deleted it, and it flagged it as malware, but it's an iPhone exploit, not Windows exploit. You can delete iPhone exploits too. Ricky, I'm going to post a link, but I'm not moderator to post it.
Yeah, hold on.
To the blue products thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, hold on. Let's see.
Yeah.
It won't let. Oh, it will let me. Okay, it will now. Okay.
Okay, cool.
There it is. So y'all can visit that link just to see for yourselves what I'm talking about. They're an American company, though. I know Lamer doesn't like the sound of blue, but it's a good manufacturer. It's in Miami, Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in my state. Perfect.
Yes, they're designing it in Miami, Florida, but they asked a manufacturer in China to make it. They ship the phone overseas when it's fully manufactured. Okay, did the link show in the chat? Because it didn't. I'm not a moderator to post it.
I just put it in there myself, William.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I can't. Okay, there it is. So check that out and look underneath the section called products. Type in blue J2 or J1, and you'll get the phone that I'm talking about. But they won't show the new model though. It shows an old model. Blue, or Lamer, that's an old time ago though. That's a long time ago. They don't anymore. Lamer says they have malware in it, but that's an old phone though, like an older product of Blue. The new products don't have it. The reason why is because it's a supply chain attack. A supply chain meaning someone in the manufacturing put it in there. Blue did it themselves. They didn't. Someone else did.
So somebody in the supply chain made that happen.
Yes, Blue didn't do it. It was just a supply chain attack because Blue, the company, was called out for it, and they later changed their course after people reported that the issue was the case, but it was just mainly a supply chain problem, not the manufacturer.
Did they ever figure out how it happened in the first place?
Not really. They didn't. And the company started in 1996 as a film company, but it later got into phone manufacturing in 2009.
Okay.
So they got into the television film market and then later got into the phone manufacturing.
Okay.
So that's how they changed course. Hold on. I'm going to go to the product about controversies. I'm going to read.
Well,
in 2016, BlackBerry sued Blue products for allegedly infringing 15 patents. In November 2016, a security firm CryptoWire detected preloaded remote surveillance software on Blue phones sold online through Amazon and Best Buy. In August 2017, Engadget reported that Amazon pulled Blue products from its website over security vulnerabilities that resulted in Blue consumer user data being covertly sent to China. Seriously. 1 month later, Amazon reinstated sales of Blue devices on their website. CNET reported that Shanghai ADAPS technology having access to command and control channel, a communications route between you and your device and a server, allowed ADAPS to execute commands as if the user meaning it could also install apps, take screenshots, record the screen, make calls, and wipe devices without needing permission. Even after ADAPS publicly reported the spyware to be a mistake, CryptoWire discovered the same vulnerability was still being utilized, except in a more covert manner. The Federal Communications Trade Commissioner, FTC, subsequently investigated the widely reported consumer privacy exploitation that was attributed to Blue. In April 2018, the FTC disclosed that their agency had reached a settlement with Blue where it alleged that Blue misled consumers and put their personal data at risk. A few months later, the FTC officially concluded that Blue deceived consumers about the disclosure of their personal information and believed Blue violated the Federal Trade Commission Act. In September 2018, Blue was ordered to be legally bound specific stipulations to settle their legal misconduct. The settlement with the FTC required Blue's security practices to be thoroughly and regularly analyzed for the following 20 years by an independent third-party security monitoring entity. It also required Blue to develop and maintain a comprehensive security program designed for both and new existing Blue devices. So Blue got into trouble with that. In 2016, 2018, and 2017, they got caught with their, let's just say they got caught with their pants pulled down doing naughty stuff.
So essentially, they did get caught by the Federal Trade Commission.
Yes, they got caught big time for violating privacy and customers' data leakage. They got basically busted for it, but they later changed their behavior. That's just an older article written.
So essentially, the reputation has pretty much been restored. They have learned a lesson.
Yes, and they're basically founded in America, but the manufacturing company The manufacturing company Blue asked a company in China to make the phone, but the malware AddUps was preloaded on the phone during the manufacture. Blue didn't do it. It was a manufacturer that snuck it in there for them that designed the phone but had it made in China. That's how it got started. That's a supply chain attack that Blue had it made, designed in America, but manufactured out directly in China. Things like that. That's the lesson that Blue learned. So ZTE, they make phones too, but I had a ZTE Quest 5 phone from Q-Link Wireless, a Lifeline company. It had no malware on it. It just had bloatware. It had a ton of crap in it, including Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter. It had Facebook Lite, Facebook Messenger. It had My Rewards. It had almost every bloatware in it. Like,
oh my goodness! Wow. And here's the thing, William. This is the one thing I hate about phones in general. It doesn't matter what phone you get from what brand or whatnot. Any phone is going to end up with a lot of bloatware. I mean, you can remove a lot of that bloatware, but unfortunately, you can't remove all of it.
Here's a problem, Ricky. The ZTE Quest 5, the bloatware gets re-enabled when you reboot the phone. And the wallpaper changes back to the default when you restart the phone.
So essentially, it has an auto-on switch in it?
Yes. After I restart the phone after disabling it, it automatically re-pops back up. The wallpaper goes back to default after a reboot. If you change it while the phone is on, but cut it off and cut it back on, it's going to go right back to the default.
Wow.
So the phone resets itself after you disabled apps, change your wallpaper. It goes right back to the default. That's the only phone I've seen it on.
And this is the main reason why, in my opinion, companies should not force bloatware on a phone. That's just me, though.
But one problem, though, my UMX phone, my Ultra Mobile Experience phone, that's got an unlocked bootloader from the manufacturer. It's not locked. So I can't put Netflix on it. Literally. Netflix will not work on that phone because the bootloader is unlocked. It's not locked.
But if I'm also correct, since your bootloader is unlocked, you could also, in theory, go for one of many customly modified Android ROMs, right?
Wrong. UMX is not that common. It's called Ultra Mobile Experience. It's not a common phone brand. It's not.
Oh.
I mean, I tried this with my Motorola Moto phone. I unlocked the bootloader, tried to put Netflix on it, and said, sorry, but your device cannot work with this app, or it said this app is not compatible with the version of this phone. That's because the phone was modified. If it's modified, Netflix, CVS, those apps won't install if it detects your phone has been tampered with because of the Google safety net.
Mm-hmm. I will say, when it comes to Linux phones, Lamer, the two Linux phones that have me really fascinated right now is the Pine phone and the Librem 5.
Those don't interest me because Netflix does not work on Linux. It works on Chrome browser on Linux, not on a Linux phone, because it was designed to be on an Android, iOS, and TV app, but not on a Linux-based phone. However, because I watch Netflix and Amazon Prime Video for free, from time to time. I have Android Go. I mean, I have a phone that I already ordered with it on there. But Android Go is just a slim version of Android for a low RAM phone. All it is. Like, that's what it's made. Even Android Go has... Oh.
But I will say though, Android Go should be able to run Netflix, should it?
Yes, it can, but there's a problem. The phone's RAM is under a gigabyte, close to 0.9 megs, or 0.9 gig rather. It's a meg. So that's very, very low. That's so low that some of the high-end gaming apps won't work on a low RAM phone. No, I tried and it would crash or not start because the RAM is too low. Like Android Go requires a minimum of a gigabyte of RAM or 512 megs, lowest you can go. Anything above that, it would require the full version. Anything lower than that, Android Go is designed to be less storage hog, less RAM. It's designed to run on cheap, low-end phones, not meant to be put on a high-end phone. But my tablet, I did a video on called the Q-Link Wireless Scepter 8 tablet. That tablet had Android 11 Go edition. It had a built-in screen recorder, a built-in screenshot. It basically you could screen record what's on the screen and sound, but it was a piece of crap. Q-Link Wireless is a lifeline provider that gave away free phones and tablets during the pandemic. Part of the EBB program, I gave away the free tablet, but not the phone. But the tablet is pitiful, but the company was rated by the United States Postal Inspector. Yes, it was rated recently. Why? Because the CEO was caught doing some shady crap involving killing of a groundskeeper over a money dispute. That was reported.
Oh my goodness.
The company Q-Link Wireless has had a raid done them on June 9th, 2021, reported. Literally.
Well, looks like that company is pretty much down on the ground now.
Wrong. It's still around, Ricky. It's still up. The company's still around. It's not gone.
Oh.
The company still runs around. It's just the CEO was investigated for being accused for killing a groundskeeper over a money dispute. That's what that was. Let me get you that link to that. Hold on.
Yeah, just DM me that.
You might want to read that because that's when it happened. Okay, let's see. News. Q-Link Wireless also leaked private phone numbers too.
Okay, Lamer, have a good night, dude. Take care.
Ricky, go here to the Miami News link I'm about to send you and read it. You can also read about it live while you're at it. That way you can talk about this issue because this is serious. Like, I didn't know about it till some people on YouTube I made a video about brought it to light. And that's when I saw the comments of it flow in about that. And I was like, wait, what? A company I signed up for Lifeline got raided? Then, and come to find out that's what happened. So there you go, Ricky. Check that out. And I'm going to send you another one about the data issue that I was told by another person. Here you go. Assurance Wireless is another Lifeline company that also was with Sprint, but Sprint was involved in some sort of fraud, too.
Sprint has always been an epic cluster F.
Here you go. Those are your two articles, Ricky. Take a look and just see what I have to say.
Okay, well, while you're sending me those, I just need to look at some other news bulletins.
That is something you and Tom can talk about at the wazoo. Go on.
Let me. Q-Link Wireless made private customer information access. Oh my.
This is on that company I signed up with for free Lifeline earlier this year and last year.
The company that you told me about at the beginning of the year?
Mm-hmm. And the one about they gave away a free phone when you signed up, but they don't now. You have to buy a phone for $20, which is cheap, but they gave away a free tablet. But here's the problem. The tablet costs at least $10 because it's $110, but the Emergency Broadband Benefit Program by the FCC requires customers to pay a copay of the device of their choosing.
Oh,
so I paid a $10 copay fee on my tablet I got for free that cost $110, but the discount paid $99 for it, but I had to pay over $10 for the $99 discount to the company behind it.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. This article just appeared right in front of me. On this tech site. So, mass leak of fitness tracking data hits Fitbit, Apple, Microsoft, and Google. 60 million records exposed by improperly configured third-party database.
Oops. Sorry. Oops.
Yeah.
That's a big oops there. I don't use any kind of fitness products, rather. Sorry.
I don't. The only fitness product I use is 2 weights, and that's all I need.
I have a gym where I live at, so I can use a gym where I live directly.
Oh, and also, just to add fuel into the fire here, WhatsApp adds additional layer of security with end-to-end encryption for chat backups.
Oh, God.
End-to-end encryption.
Oh, great.
Oh, they may say end-to-end encryption, but we all know what WhatsApp really does. Yep. Just another data hog.
Yes.
Things like that.
Another one right here. Azurescape. Microsoft Azure container vulnerability allows attackers to compromise other accounts on public cloud services.
Oh, gosh.
Oh yeah, we got a whole bunch of news here. Whole bunch of news. Oh, here we go. Russian internet giant Yandex wards off the largest botnet DDoS attack in history.
Oh, Lord, Ricky.
It says right here, Yandex warded off the largest DDoS attack in history, recorded at 22 million requests per second, and attributed to a new botnet Mercis that exploits Microtech devices.
Oh, gosh, man.
Okay, what else is there? Oh, we have some Apple stuff here.
What is it?
iOS 15 will ask permission before displaying your own personal ads.
Oh, well, that's a positive because I don't like ads on my iOS devices.
I don't think anybody likes ads on any device.
That's true.
I mean, yes, companies need to make money, but the thing is, there's better ways for companies to make money.
Agreed. Yeah.
Very funny, Dominic.
Very funny.
Okay, let's see. Oh, hello there. Google is paying Apple $15 billion per year to be default search engine on devices. Interesting. Let's see. Anything else?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's a whole bunch of these reports about that whole Pegasus thing I've been hearing about on YouTube.
Oh, gracious.
Let's see. Okay, let's see. Hamburg DPA says Zoom is not compliant with GDPR due to U.S. data transfers no longer allowed for state government agencies.
Interesting.
Man, Zoom is in hot water.
Yeah, that they are.
Oh, no way. There's something on BlackBerry?
Uh-oh.
I haven't heard anything about BlackBerry in years. Okay, what's this? BlackBerry. Oh, you're going to love this. BlackBerry buried security vulnerability in OS until forced to disclose by feds. Was discovered in April. Wow. Just wow.
Yeah.
Oh. We have a T-Mobile news now. T-Mobile data breach. 100 million customer data records compromised, including Social Security, driver's license, and unquote device numbers.
Okay, Mark, we'll be here, buddy. But yeah, I mean, I'm on the T-Mobile network, Ricky, but I don't know if my data got compromised in that. Hopefully,
I don't think it. I don't. If you were compromised, you would have known something.
Yeah, I would have gotten like a text or something. Yeah.
Let's see. Apple privacy update creates a digital advertising windfall for Amazon.
William's trying to get back in the chat, by the way.
Oh, hold on just a second.
Yeah.
Yoink.
There you go.
There
Oh,
you-
hi. I accidentally closed my Chrome browser and it knocked me out of the Streamlabs. So, another note I want to point out here, Ricky, is did you know that Netflix is going to be free in Kenya only?
Completely free?
Yes, ad free in Kenya. Only in the Kenya region. Everywhere else, you got to pay a ton of money for it.
Okay. Why is it going to be free specifically in that region?
Don't look at me, Ricky. I don't know how to tell you that answer. I saw it today on my phone. I'm like, why? I don't know, but let me Google it up. Hold on.
Mm.
Kenya, Netflix Kenya. It's a free plan. It's only in Kenya. It's about the hold on. It's a romance of blood and water. A movie, I guess, like a movie to boast its growth in Kenya. Let me
Okay.
read the Netflix blog. It's a romance movie in Kenya that's free of charge.
Yeah.
That's why.
Okay.
So Netflix basically is making themselves free only in Kenya, not in America. In America, you have to pay, but in Kenya, you can just log in for free with your password, confirm you're 18 or over. They'll basically ask you to convert to a paid subscription if you do the free plan, but not for the non-free. So basically, you're giving a free trial, but wanting you to switch to the full subscription in Kenya if you like it. So it's kind of like a try before you buy type thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, hello. Windows Hello vulnerability allows attackers to bypass biometric authorization using spoofed images.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't take very long.
Nope.
Okay.
On another note, Ricky, is what do you think about websites that track you? Like if you go to like a website you like all the time, but you see ads for that website appear on another site. Like I
Mhm.
get this ad called Lukey Games. I go to the site Lukey Games. It follows me from that site to any other site. It shows the Lukey Games ad on all other sites I go to. So I'm getting a cross tracking type thing where one ad on the site I go to follows me to the next site over. Like it
Yeah.
keeps spreading like a virus from site to site I go to. I'm like, why am I seeing a same ad from a different site I just went to and back and forth?
I will say when it comes to tracking, it is becoming it is a pretty basically tracking on any site is a pretty much major privacy violation. I mean, you shouldn't be tracked every single time. I mean, this is the sole reason why whenever I use false software, I make sure it's things that don't track. Like for example, out of all the web browsers that I've researched, the safest browser
Let me show the company real quick without showing my address on an order paper I got. Hold on. Let me just show the company where show the Lukey Games company I'm getting that ad from every time I go to another site. Hang on. Like this is the company that I visit called Lukey Games to order games from for my console.
Yeah.
But this company's ad is following me from their site to any other site like The Verge, Twitter. Like it follows me all over the place. Like it keeps following me.
I see.
Like, that's what I don't like about the company, though. I like the company, but their ad keeps following me everywhere.
I will say one thing about getting tracked, though. Back on that topic, I pretty much. I mean, I'm already aware that I'm being tracked, but the thing is, I've decreased my tracking prints a lot. Like, for example, since I've gotten to use very well acquainted with false software and with using Proton VPN, I pretty much keep myself invisible primarily at all times, especially when it comes to passwords. Because what I do with passwords is I don't keep my passwords in the browser anymore. I keep them all locked up in in my favorite password app, KeePassXC, which I encourage everybody who is new to Linux or is experienced Linux, use KeePassXC instead of putting passwords in your browser. It'll save you a lot of trouble in the long run. But back to the topic at hand, I also use either Brave or Firefox because in testing, those are the two most secure browsers that you can pretty much go for. Because the thing with Firefox is, yes, Mozilla is doing some not so good stuff as a company in the background, but the thing is, Firefox can still be hardened to further protect itself, and that's why I've always stuck with Firefox.
Yeah.
Well, okay, people are going to not like me for this, but I love Google Chrome and Google's account password manager because it syncs across any Android or Chrome browser.
Mhm.
But with Chrome syncing, it integrates with my Google account. I stupidly locked myself out of my own Firefox, my old Twitter, my old TeamViewer. I locked myself out of my old account because I use two-factor authentication. I changed phone numbers from another on the same provider I'm with and got myself locked out permanently of them. I can't get back into any of them at all.
Yeah.
That's a shame, William.
I still can't. I can't get all the Twitter support to get back into my old account. Like I tried tweeting at them and no response, so I'm stuck.
Mm-hmm.
That's annoying, man.
Yeah, I will say for the record, when it comes to two-factor authentication, use it where you can. But I also can't stress this enough. When it comes to deciding what the best web browser really is, you got to approach the web browser from a privacy perspective because, I mean, yes, most browsers are secure anyway. That's pretty much been, that question has been answered for many years. But when it comes to privacy, Firefox is your best bet because, like I said, you can harden the thing really good, and also you could put things on there like uBlock Origin, which is the best extension, in my opinion, to put on there besides Decentralize and Privacy Badger.
Yeah.
I'm more focused on a little bit of privacy, but I'm not too into it. I'm only into it about that much because there's only so much I can do. The rest I can't do, but I can only do like so much.
Yeah,
much I can do about it.
Yeah, but also approaching privacy from a VPN perspective is good too. I mean, Proton VPN is good. They're one of the few VPNs that pretty much Cape Technologies has not even bought yet, thank goodness.
Yeah. And
But
by the way,
somehow,
you guys, hold on, William. By the way, I'm using the Brave browser right now.
Brave is okay. Brave is okay. It's getting better. It needs a little bit more work done to it, but it's eventually going to be okay. Vivaldi is okay as well. I've had Vivaldi off and on. I've had at least Opera temporarily. Opera is okay. I mean, yes, I
don't have any complaints about Opera, but
Opera. I mean, here's the thing: when it comes to proprietary browsers, I have to give it to Opera because the thing about Opera is it can do things that other proprietary browsers just can't do. Like, for example, I mean, not only can you have good extensions in Opera, but you can also have like instant access to your Facebook Messenger and all that right from within the bar.
A VPN and ad blocker with it, but have you tried the Otter browser? Otter browser is OTTER. It's like Opera 12.0. But it's basically not based on it. It gives the classic feel of Opera 12 and lower, but it's not based on the Presto engine. It's available only for Linux and Windows, but I think it's available for Windows too. But there's a Linux version called Otter, OTTER, and it's basically based on Opera 12. However, I don't like the Opera Presto engine. I didn't like it since day one I first saw the browser.
Yeah.
Because
I will say Otter is a good choice though.
YouTube didn't work with it. Not with the Presto engine. It never did. I couldn't go to YouTube.com and that because it would say your browser's not unsupported. Please, your browser's not supported. Please use a supported browser. And I'm like, Why? It doesn't recognize that engine. It only recognizes Firefox, Chrome, IE, and that's it. It does not recognize that one at all because YouTube was built after the browser came out, and the browser came out in the 90s. YouTube came out in 05, 06. So there's a huge difference of what came first, either the chicken or the egg. That's what it is.
Exactly. I will say though, when it comes to browsers, though, I mean, Otter browser does have its good uses. Like, say for example, if you want to go to Distro Watch really quick, or just look up a news article, Otter has its use in that department. But I will say, when it comes to YouTube, when it comes solely for the purpose of YouTube, I mean, if you want to watch your YouTube videos but in a more private manner, Firefox is a good way to go. If you want to watch your videos in a more secure manner, then go Chrome. Chrome is really secure.
Ricky, remember that the browsers have to have a safe browsing in case you had a dangerous website that should warn you. And remember that I like to watch my YouTube account so I can save the video as my favorite or like it or keep it in my history so I can rewatch it. If I use it in incognito, I won't be able to remember it. It just pretends I never even remembered it.
Yeah, basically, the thing about incognito is I get that they're trying to approach with the philosophy that, oh, here's a private window, do whatever you want, but remember, once you exit out of this private window, everything is gone. The thing is, when it comes to private browsing, yes, I know Chrome and Chromium can do that. But here's the thing. If I'm correct, William, didn't Firefox invent that first?
What do you mean, the private browsing?
Yeah.
Hold on. I think they did. I mean, I used to use Netscape Navigator and Windows XP, but I don't know if Netscape Navigator had a private window feature. I don't know because I used to use Netscape Navigator back then as a Mozilla Lite thing. So I got into Mozilla because I used to use Netscape Navigator, then Mozilla SeaMonkey, and then there's also Mozilla Navigator that's got like a M dinosaur at the top right. It used to be called SeaMonkey, Netscape Navigator, Firefox, and Mozilla Suite or something. It had a browser plus mail client. It was Mozilla Monkey or Mozilla something. It had a suite of tools, including the calendar, mail, and email. I used to use Thunderbird back then. I used to use Netscape Navigator for browsing the web, but I didn't use Firefox until 2006 because Netscape Navigator did it in for me when I first found it. I liked it, but then I got to using Netscape something. It had a security feature. It had a security thing in it. It's so long ago, I can't remember the name of it specifically.
Well, here's the thing. Speaking of SeaMonkey is still around.
Yes.
Netscape Navigator's dead.
Netscape is dead, but SeaMonkey is still around. The SeaMonkey is still getting updates.
But it's not where it is to where Firefox is today, though. Netscape Navigator is so far behind.
I mean, the thing is, yes, Netscape Navigator is available for Linux, but the thing is, the last version is so old, there's no point in using it.
No, there's
But what's the point of using? But what is the point of relying on old software that's so long dead or discontinued or no longer being updated for security?
Well, the thing is, with some old software, there's still like a purpose or a niche purpose to use that software in a certain situation or event. That's pretty much the main reason why people still rely on old software. Like, for example, that's one of the reasons why pretty much I would go back to using SeaMonkey, because the thing is, back in the day, I pretty much made the jump from Internet Explorer to Firefox because, hey, I thought Firefox looked cool at first. But I was still using Internet Explorer up until Edge released. And I will say one thing about Edge. Edge is an okay browser. I mean, it reminds me of Explorer to an extent, but it's a little different. And ever since they updated Edge to a Chromium build, I will say Edge is pretty impressive by appearance and design. It's really interesting.
I just like Chromium-based browsers because they really are compatible with almost all sites. The old WebKit browser and the old Presto engine don't work with modern sites as of now very well.
No, they don't. Yes. Yes, those type of things can still work, for Wikipedia for getting articles, but that's all you're going to really get out of it.
Netflix requires a Google Widevine DRM to run. It requires a DRM to play. Without it, you're out of luck. Almost all video streaming services require some kind of DRM for copy protection.
Yeah. Now, as for Thunderbird, I've used Thunderbird here and there. Thunderbird is a really nice email client. I've used it here and there, but to me, I've always been like one of those old school type of people that likes to use email websites, and I've used Gmail for like forever, and I've got into Proton Mail like maybe a year or two ago, and I haven't looked back since. Proton Mail is just amazing. I've also gotten into using Tutanota. Tutanota is awesome. But the thing is, I don't really use an email app anymore. I haven't really used an email app in a long time, and that's because I have no use for it for my daily purposes. But I will say one thing about Firefox, though, specifically. It is the one browser from the older generation that has outlasted Internet Explorer by a lot. Internet Explorer, yes, it's been around since basically Windows 95. But the thing about Firefox, though, is Firefox's history can trace its roots back to the late 90s as well.
Well, I used to use AOL 9.0 and AOL 9.0 Optimize and AOL 9.0 SE and MSN Explorer back in the early 2000s for dial-up. Even those were using a form of either Internet Explorer rendering engine for the MSN Explorer, which is part of Windows anyway, but AOL used to use its own browsing engine for the dial-up version of the client. The software version, when you had to connect to their servers through dial-up to get on, but it also could run on broadband, but mostly I used to use the old 56K to get on and check email and play a game, but I didn't really stay on too long. I stayed on Friday nights to Sunday mornings because by then, the weekend nights, like Friday nights, Sunday morning, the phone lines are okay to use for dial-up hours, but during the daytime you couldn't because the phone lines would be tied up, but by other people talking on it. But you could wait till like Friday night at midnight to get on dial-up, stay on it all the way to Sunday morning, all you want, but you have to be off by Sunday morning at 6 a.m. because phone lines, people will be starting to make phone calls at 7 a.m. or later, and you wouldn't want to be on it all day. That would tie up the home line, which I used to do back in the days. I used to tie up the phone line for getting on a dial-up Friday night because my mom never really talked late at night on the phone. She would only talk. Now she talks late night to a relative on the cell phone, but back then when we had analog home phone, back then my mom did, I had dial-up. I had to wait till she got off the phone Friday night and then connect and get on and do what I want and get off.
Okay.
And I broke a record for staying up till Saturday at 5 a.m. or later using dial-up. I couldn't get on during the daytime because the phone lines were used.
Yeah, I can understand why.
The only time I could get on was at midnight, not at 5 p.m. or 9 a.m.
I will say one thing though about America Online. It did shape in so many ways, how social media and the internet would turn out. Because the thing is, essentially they pretty much, yes, they didn't invent the internet, but they certainly perfected it.
Well, AOL Instant Messaging stuck around for a long decade till 2017 or mean, until 2015, it got shut down, but since it's been on for over a decade.
Exactly, but the thing is, over the last few years, very old messengers like MSN Messenger and AOL Messenger have seen a resurgence because people are making their own servers in order to operate those old messengers again. Like there's a whole bunch of these little groups that are bringing these.
Ben and Ricky, I got some news for you. Did you know there's a Steam hack for Pigeon Messenger?
No.
No.
Steam. Okay, someone took Steam. They made an open Steam protocol that requires Pigeon Internet Messenger to be installed. Pigeon can connect to your Steam account and message your Steam friends, but due to Steam's two-factor, the Messenger program Pigeon will display a two-factor authentication prompt for Steam when you try to use your Steam credentials. Someone actually made a plugin that will allow Pigeon to connect to your Steam account and chat with your friends separately of the Steam client. That's because Steam is required to chat with your friends, but if you don't like using Steam all the time or you got an old computer, just do the Steam Pigeon plugin pack, and that'll require your Steam authentication code and your login. Then you can chat with your Steam friends, not without having to have the main Steam client up. That's what someone invented. Literally, it's open source. Literally.
Wow, interesting.
I found out the hard way on a Slackware distribution called Salix Linux. Or no, not Salix. It's called Slackout Linux, a Slackware-based Slackware current distro.
Okay.
But it has to be built from source, though. The Slack build, the Slack sorcery tool has to build the Steam Pigeon pack into a Slackware package to be installed. It does not come by default from the Slackware repository. It's got to be built into a package, not installable from a binary.
Yeah. I just wanna let everybody know I will be giving this a 10-minute warning. In 10 minutes, we will be wrapping things up. I want to personally thank everybody for coming, and if you want to rewatch the KDE4 discussion, you can rewind it to the beginning. But I just want to say right now, does anybody have any final words about KDE4's history and anything?
I liked it. I liked KDE4, but it was terrible at 4.5.4 and 4.55 were terrible.
Yeah. I have to say it did get better on the 4.14 and a little bit earlier than that.
Yeah, I will have to say, when it came to KDE4, I have to say one of the best things I liked about it was the introduction of widgets, because you could pretty much make the desktop your own. And one of my favorite things was the Lancelot menu that you introduced me to.
I heard of that. I have heard of that.
Yeah. I have to say that menu really brought out the best in KDE. It really did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it made things so much easier. It made it Windows-like. It was awesome. Okay, Otaku. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
I will say though, with KDE4 though, it did leave behind the building blocks for Plasma to get better. And yes, Plasma itself has had its share of problems, but it looks like they're learning their lesson and they're trying their hardest to make Plasma better.
Ricky, are you leaving out Trinity? Because KDE3 spawned Open Trinity 4.
Oh, Trinity! Yes,
we should cover that. Yes.
Yeah,
I will say Trinity is a nice desktop. Don't get me wrong, but there are a lot of things in, like I said, in 4 that I feel are not covered in Trinity, and I've always desired there to be a Trinity version of KDE4, and hence what Katana is doing. But the problem is they haven't worked in the KDM stuff into that repo yet, nor have they brought in the Lancelot the Lancelot launcher capabilities yet. So
I just
they need
want it
to
to be
bring-
respinned.
what do you mean?
I want it to be where it's forked and respin to bring it back to people who miss it, rather than getting rid of it for good.
Yeah, I do.
mean-
I do agree with that as well. They need to respin Trinity again to make it better. I would also like to see KDE4 get respinned as well, make it into something more modern.
I mean, if they brought it back from the trenches and really brought KDE4 more up to date, like what Katana is doing with their repository on GitHub, they've started to bring it into the modern age. But I mean, if they would just make it more accessible on other distros, and like I said, bring in the KDM login screen again and the Lancelot launcher and all those widgets, then yes, it would be able to be installed on more modern distros.
Oh, and here's some other tidbit of news. Parted Magic, the live Linux hard drive partition utility tool. Guess what? They're now going to a Netflix-like subscription where you pay $4 a month to get access to downloads of that distro. The creator
Oh
gets it.
my god!
Literally,
It's
yes.
supposed to be Linux as a G-parted live CD. Why would they? Oh,
The developer wanted to make money to stay afloat. The developer was struggling to pay the hosting providers for the site and downloads, so the developer needed to make money to stay afloat. Otherwise, they would have went under like every other distro had gone on.
yeah. I mean, I can respect him wanting to make money off his product, but I mean, a subscription service, that's not the way to do it. Not gonna lie.
It drew criticism on Wikipedia articles saying that software is open source, but it's still being sold for commercial use. That's fine in one of the Linux open source licenses, yes, but I don't know which one it falls under that is allowed to do that.
I don't know if I don't even know which license it would fall under. I know the GPL wouldn't do something like that.
But one of them permit selling open source software to make a profit from. One of them does not. I forget which one it is. It doesn't allow it.
Well, from what I know, the GPL would not condone that. I'm pretty sure.
Because the thing is, because I will say one thing about the GPL. The purpose of either GPL2 or GPL3 is to pretty much tell the Linux world about the 4 essential freedoms. And these freedoms are pretty much what Richard Stallman created.
Yes, as much as we all have a strong...
Then explain why Zorin OS is being sold for professional and sold for money and not sold for money. Explain why both versions of one is available for free, one for paid.
Well, the thing about the Ultimate Edition is the reason why that's for money is they're actually offering you a lot of good, high-quality interfaces than just the normal interface. That's why they're offering the money.
Yeah, and it comes with a lot of apps that a lot of newbies may or may not want, so they offer you that service, and also pays their tech support stuff as well.
Things like that. I mean, look at Jacques, the creator of Makulu Linux. He was looking to make the distro go live and for everyone to use, but he had trouble trying to keep it afloat because he needed to pay hosting providers for repositories and sites to keep it up. So that's why he needed money to help keep it going so it wouldn't go under like all the other distros.
Yeah, I mean, I have my distribution, my Arch system as, a donation thing, but it's optional. If people want to donate to me, they go ahead. But, it not only helps me out, but the team as well. It sort of keeps our distribution going. And, I like that. And, as it gets more credit, I'll eventually branch out that money to the team.
Check out your private check out the private chat of StreamYard. I sent you my Discord.
No, I got it. I took care of it, William. I took care of it.
But I don't know. I'm just upset with Linux a little bit because some of it's going where you have to pay for it, some of it's free. But why make money off of an open source product? It's going to cause the Linux purists to fight.
Well, I think the thing is, William, that a lot of people want to. I mean, honestly, I don't really have a good answer for that, but I think the long-term reason is that it helps keep them afloat, and it helps keep them, you know. I mean, honestly, I think the reason is just to keep them afloat, really.
I'm just not really angry by it. I just wonder it's gonna like it seems a bit of controversial to do it fine, but not everyone's gonna be agreeing with that. I don't mind if someone makes money off the stay afloat, yes, but originally someone else out there may not be happy about it. But I'm fine if they charge money. I'm willing to pay for a Linux product as long as I just give you the money and I get the product. It's like this. If I took and pirated, let's say if Ben was to develop this, let's say if Ben wanted to make this thing available for free and paid support, optional donations, fine. But if Ben was to make it mandatory to pay, then people would start pirating it.
Yeah. Well, I'm not wanting to risk my distribution being torrented or something like that. So I'm planning to keep it, free for the people to download, but also keep the donation thing up there as well.
But good luck trying to prevent piracy with a Linux OS.
Yeah, I see your point, William. I see your point. I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying I'm trying to make it the least possible way to happen.
So my views on Linux are very open, but I'm always thinking about the inevitable. What would happen if Debian got rid of its 32-bit, forcing 64-bit to be the default, mandatory, and getting rid of Steam in the process? What would happen then if Arch, Gentoo, Debian, Fedora, all those distributions got rid of 32-bit? That would kill Steam off.
Yeah,
that would kill Steam off. That would kill the purpose of Lutris. That would kill the purpose of all these free and open source console emulators. That would just kill Linux gaming completely as a whole.
That would just destroy a tenth of that. And if they want to get rid of 32-bit and I can't install Steam, I'll be shaking my fist and be like, I want my Steam because all my games are there and I can't play it without that. And second, I would not go back to Windows just for a thing like that.
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah, I mean, I would honestly say that, it's not. I don't see a lot of distros destroying 32-bit ISOs, but in reality, I don't see it being a thing we have to worry about in the long run.
Okay, I just want to I just want to let everybody know that as of right now, there is a 5-minute warning. In 5 minutes, I will be wrapping this stream up because I gotta hit the hay.
Well, I gotta go take care. I gotta take care of stuff to do, so I'm OUT out. Bye bye.
All right,
okay,
bye bye,
later,
William.
Have a good night, buddy.
But I will say though, Ben, when it comes to the future of Steam, we need those 32-bit binaries. We need
we need the 32-bit libraries to keep Steam alive because it's a multi-lit app. So, I mean, if we go completely 64-bit across the board with distros, it's not gonna be a good.
The only thing the only saving grace that Steam would have is if it was to change its binaries to completely 64-bit.
And I don't see that happening anytime in the near future.
No, I don't, because the thing is, Steam is still very popular on Windows 32-bit pure systems, and I don't see 32-bit going completely away anytime soon.
Right, because I mean, there's still pure 32-bit Gentoo systems, LFS systems. There's still the third-party Arch 32-bit distro out there, Arch 32, and Debian, like William said, is slowly getting rid of 32-bit, but it's still possible. And there's just a lot of systems out there, excuse me, that ship with 32-bit offerings on their systems. I mean, Windows doesn't do that anymore, nor does Mac, but I mean, there are a lot of systems out there that somehow still maintain 32-bit installs. And,
Yep.
But regardless, I mean, hopefully that doesn't stop being a thing, but we'll just have to see.
Yep. We sure
Oh,
will.
and yeah, tomorrow I plan to uninstall Ubuntu and have you help me do a hardened Arch install because honestly, I do kind of miss Arch, and I kind of, you know, I've never done a hardened Linux install, but I'm starting to think that it's maybe time that I really harden down some of my machines.
Well, it's very easy to install a new kernel. I will show you how it's done.
Yes, and also I'm thinking of
because
hold on, and another thing is I'm planning to do an LVM Arch install because the thing is I want to fully safety proof this laptop in case somehow I take it to like school or a workplace environment or somewhere outside the house. I don't want to risk my data being stolen by some hacker or some thief or something. And so if I plan to take it outside the house, I want, to turn on and grub the password function because honestly, it's not good to have, my system easily be bootable and someone type in the password and be like, oh, there's Ben's data.
I can see that. But no, it's very easy to install new kernel. I have about, I think, 4 kernels inside my Lenovo ThinkPad Edge. I got the normal kernel, I got the LTS kernel, I got the hardened kernel, and I also have the Linux Zen kernel, and I use the Zen kernel for my gaming.
I see your point. Well, tomorrow we'll do some Arch Madness, okay?
All right. Well, everybody, I hate to say it, but we got to cut it off here. I got to get to bed. The next open chat, I don't know when that will be, but I'll let you all know in the meantime through an update video on my channel, so stay tuned. But until then, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Master 88 saying, see you later.
All right.